There's a poll there. Behind the curtain, number 1. So this is resulting out of 2 different conversations I've had with people, and also just my own thoughts on those conversations and before and after those conversations. Creating this new playlist or segment or whatever, where I want to talk about how I guess I'm feeling about the process of creating these videos and stuff. So I had a conversation with someone who's giving me some constructive criticism on the videos, I mean, with the length of them and like repetitiveness, or like saying the same thing 5 different times, which is just my talking style, which isn't really conducive to any academic sense of being concise, but whatever, and can be frustrating in a conversation with me too. But yeah, I tend to repeat myself sometimes in the same sentence. So I'm trying to work on that. But yeah, so they were just giving me some constructive criticism about some things, and because I had that conversation, and as I've mentioned, conversations are really important for me learning about myself and why I do the things I do and how I'm doing them, and just forces me to think about my process. Writing things down can do that too. Having a solo conversation can do that, and obviously conversations with other people. So as I was kind of talking about, hey, this is why I do it this way, this is what I'm doing, I came to some conclusions about some things, and that's what I want to share with you now. And like I said, behind the curtain, I think is going to be this thing now where, based off a conversation I had with someone else, being like, I think it's so interesting to talk about these things, I'm analyzing these things, about like, what is happening when I'm making these videos? How is it affecting me, and what do I think about making them, the reaction to them, or lack of reaction, and how filming things puts my conversations into a different context, all that stuff. So this is kind of the first bit of that. And I'm branching off into all these different sections and playlists and areas of these videos, and I think for some family and friends it was like overwhelming, like, wow, you've got a lot of videos. I'm like, yeah, because last week I think I posted one every single day, and my reaction to that is, why would you feel obligated to watch all of them? Like, you're going to get burnt out. I never expected people to be watching every single video. Art process videos, some people would have no interest in seeing how the pieces are made, and some people love them. The raw rides, I don't think have been that exciting yet, but I find it a beautiful way just to share my rides and be like, oh, this is a beautiful city and the coulees and nature and stuff, so I like making them. And then there's all these other types of things, reviewing this, or a 2-cent rant about that, or a longer conversation about this other topic. I'm assuming you're only watching things that are of interest to you, whoever you are. Yeah, I kind of talked about like finding an audience too, and just like, this is not my occupation. This is something I'm really enjoying doing, and that's what I think this comes to, is that I'm not researching, like, how do I build my audience? How do I do this? And how do I do that? Maybe I need to shorten this, or, like, have more jump cuts. Like, I don't, yeah, things that I'm aware of that could hold people's attention span more, including my own. But, I mean, hoping this finds the audience that it needs to find. Because, like, I know that there's some of the vloggers that I like. I actually wish they talked more, just, like, face-to-face talk more, because I think they're really smart, interesting people. But the majority of their audience just wants them to, like with John Hicks, like, I think a bulk of his viewers are just like, yeah, BMX, biking, go, bike life. And that's how I stumbled upon his stuff. But because he's a really intellectual person, I really enjoy when he has stuff to say. So, like, I wish he did more of that, but he generally is vlogging his everyday life, and his everyday life has a lot of biking, and the thing is that the comments that people make, he's mentioned, like, well, I guess I'll do more of this, or maybe not do so much of that. And other times he's like, screw you guys, I'll do whatever I want. And like, to me, I don't have that viewership, that amount of people following me, so it's just not, whatever, it's not affecting me that much. I want feedback, I like feedback, I'll do with that what I will. I can't make any changes based on feedback if I don't have any feedback. I might not make those changes based on your feedback, it just depends. But I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, so I'm going to keep doing it. If people don't watch it at all, that sucks. I would like to hope that there's somebody who enjoys something in there, right? And it goes back to this other conversation about who am I making art for? And that's something I want to talk about later, which kind of got touched upon in the legacy conversation I had with Laura Lee, which is the very first conversation I think I had, or no, it was the second. I guess it wasn't the legacy conversation, it was the connection conversation. But it jumped off of the legacy conversation that I had alone with you. So I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. It's good for me to be expressive in this new way because I learn more about myself by creating the videos. Like I said, I've done that before with writing, and I still am, but I'm also learning a lot just by verbalizing it like this. And yeah, my talking style isn't for everybody. If I'm repetitive, if I repeat things, if I ramble, I don't want to say, oh, that's just who I am, because in some contexts, I probably want to be more concise and whatever else. But I like doing things in one take if I can. I like to see where my mind meanders and wanders off to, and then I learn new stuff by not restricting myself. For some things, like a review, I'll have notes, because I took notes while I was thinking about the thing I was reviewing. But those notes are always just a guide for like, make sure you talk about this thing, don't forget to talk about that thing, but it's never like, okay, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, like, talk about it in this order for this long. I'm not structuring my stuff that way. If I was structuring it that way, this wouldn't be fun anymore. And for the first little bit, it seemed like work because I was just so wrapped up in the quality of the videos and the technical side of things. Now I've settled into a place where I'm okay with the quality, and the technical side of things hasn't had any bumps in the road lately, so I'm just focusing on the content. And yeah, I'm putting out a lot because I'm making a lot, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and it's not work, and it is fun, and I'm learning a lot by doing it. So I'm gonna keep doing it. But that's kind of where I'm feeling about this whole project, if I want to call it that. This thing of me making these videos. Again, I'm hoping people are watching. I'm not counting the numbers necessarily. There's a poll there. Whew. But yeah, I want feedback. That's the one thing I do want that I'm not really getting that much on the videos. Some people are giving me feedback in person or through messages, and I'm like, yeah, just say it on the video. I would rather that, because then maybe other people will join in, there'll be discussion and stuff. So while I was upstairs in the gallery, somebody like opened the door downstairs. They were like coming up, and I was like, "Oh crap," because that weirded me out, and I didn't want to be weird vlogging in the main gallery when somebody was there. So back in the studio, really quickly though, the whole behind the curtain thing that I was thinking of as well. Like I just ended off talking about like, oh, I want feedback. Give me feedback. Yes, I do. But the other thing that I've been thinking about more so is just like, oh, the process of refining what I'm doing has been interesting, because sometimes the videos are like one take, I just like get on a roll and it's going great and awesome the way that I want it to. And other times it's like I have like these stutter steps of like starts where I start and then like 2 seconds later I stop, and then I start and then like 30 seconds later I stop. Sometimes it's 5 minutes later and I'm like, that was dumb. But just by talking it through once, it's almost like a draft, and then I kind of refine the idea. I've actually made this video before, like I just made it an hour ago, and then I realized, nah, I could do that better and just like streamline it a little better and not wander off in so many directions, etc. So that's one of those things too that I guess is just a thing. It's just like writing a paper or just writing something is like that. You've got a draft, you've got some edits you make. It's just not as it's not exactly the same, obviously. But by just getting it out once, sometimes it goes great and it's just like stream of conscious and I love it. And other times it's like, okay, I did that like 2 or 3 times and it's helping me refining what I'm going to say, and hopefully it's more direct. Anyway, that's behind the curtain today, the first one, so I will see you on another time. I realized that behind the curtain, that idea of this other like playlist and type of video, it's a really narrow idea if I just have it behind the curtain of making videos and how I feel about videos and whatever else. I think it would be better if it was more broad and expanded into things like art things, like selling art, or this is like behind the curtain of like what you would do if you were I don't even know, I can't even think. Behind the curtain of being a teacher, behind the curtain of this thing, of that thing, whatever. Just showing insight into like what goes on in the background to make up the thing that you actually see. So kind of deconstructing what you're not seeing, and explaining it and talking about it and exploring it. So that's gonna be more